All right, brand new information. This just came out from USDA, and it is the much anticipated WASDE, World Supply and Demand Estimates. Let's go straight to the U.S. stockpiles, because many of the traders we've talked to said that was the first number that they were going to look at. And when it comes to these numbers here, corn came in at 2.098 billion bushels, soybeans 580 million, and the wheat 978 million bushels. Now for 2021, those numbers stacked up like this. Corn 3.318, they're rounded up to 3.32. The soybeans, 405, and the wheat, 909, and of course, all of that in million bushels. So what's going on in the corn market as it reacts to all of this? Let's go there next. Over in the corn, things are mixed. May is down 3/4, but the July is up 1, and the December is down 1/2. At 334 1/4. For the soybean market, soybeans, we're watching to see what this report would have to say. Not much change here yet. November down 1, July is down 1 3/4. There was some information in this for the wheat. Wheat was increased just slightly, and it shows up now in the Chicago wheat market. July down 7 at 510 1/4. Kansas City wheat, or HRW wheat as we sometimes call it, July is down 8 3/4 now at 466 1/4. And for the Minneapolis wheat market, we are down 4 1/4 on the July contract. So let's check in with Todd Horwitz with Bubba Trading at this point and visit with him. And Todd, here we are. We've got the report out. You had talked about that in your messages there earlier. So what do you think of this? Any reaction? Any surprise here to you?
No, I think that the numbers are probably fairly bearish. I mean, corn was not as bad as expected, which is why corn had a nice little pop. Now, again, it's still a little bit lower right now, but it did get positive for a few minutes, and it was positive before this overnight. You know, John, it's really quiet, and it's really what it is, but I think that the bottoms are in, and I think we will see something, and I would not be surprised to see a rally before the close today, and I would not be surprised to see us start to get our footing and start to move higher now. I think this is out of the way, and it was pretty much as expected, as you can see by the price movement, because we didn't get a lot of action. It was really just kind of stable, with the exception of corn, which had about a 6 or 7 cent swing between top and bottom. But overall, fairly flat and fairly stable, so everything was kind of priced correctly. And I think now we'll start to see some movement to the upside.
Todd, if we go back here and we talk about the chart action, and we go all the way back, well, I want to bring up we can do this. I want to bring up a 6-month chart here of the July corn contract. If we dig deep down into this, we got a little bit of a double bottom down here around this, around 309 or so. Seems like this market wants to hold that now. Would you agree with that?
No, I agree 100%. And I think that the key was when we were under pressure last week and we couldn't go back and take out the lows. Basically, we've made a higher low, which is it's hard to say bullish in corn. It's a real solid consolidation along the bottom end. But the very fact that it did not take out that original low and made a double bottom at 309 indicates to me that there's going to be some movement to the upward. And I think that's where we're headed now. I think, again, I look at it very simply. We're ready to start to move up. And how much more can they price into these markets? I know I've heard some ridiculous calls lower in corn. I think the lows are in. I think we look for some buyers. And what will happen is suddenly one day we'll walk in and we'll break out of that first range, which let's say that's 322, 323. And then next thing you know, we'll trade to 330. And I think we will start to get rolling along here pretty much across the board, but especially in soybeans and corn, as I start to think we're going to start to see some movement to the upside.
All right, Todd, thanks a lot. Always appreciate it, and hope you have a good afternoon. We do have the U.S. corn and soybean production numbers. They stack up like this. Corn, 995 million bushels. Soybeans, 4125. And both of those are, as Todd was mentioning, just about in line. In fact, that corn number maybe just slightly higher than the average guess, but not by much, pretty close. All right, we got to get more more information here. We're going to do that on the other side of this break when we come back and talk about livestock next. Stay with us here on The Market.